All right, Cynthia.
Don't forget to record.
What did you say?
Don't forget to record.
I just did. Thank you.
Okay,
Welcome.
you start.
Thank you. Thank you, Cynthia. Welcome to the Public Image Post-Grant Online Report webinar. It's going to be presented by this evening's host, myself, Ginger Taylor McDonald. I'm the RPIC for Zone 26, and I'm so pleased to announce that Cynthia Palmer-Kenzer, RI Public Relations Grant Specialist and a member of the RR Marketing staff, is joining us this evening as our presenter. But before we get started, let's do a bit of housekeeping. And let me announce that the estimated time of this webinar is approximately 30 minutes plus time for questions and answers. If you haven't already selected either your computer or your telephone to participate in today's webinar, please do so now. For the order of today's webinar, we will go over our presentation and then take questions and answers at the end of each. During the presentation, you may send your questions using the question pane on your screen. We will then take as many of those questions as we can during the discussion. If you wish to follow up during the discussion, please indicate by using the raise hand function on your screen control panel and type in the additional question. If we are unable to get to all of the questions during the question time, we will respond to you directly by email after the session. If you need technical assistance, please write your questions at any time and someone will assist you. The session will be recorded. If you would like a copy, please send me an email and let me know as soon as possible, and I will make it available to you. And again, my email address is on your invitation, on your invite. So if we're ready to go, I'd like to turn over the screens and the instructions to Cynthia. Good evening, Cynthia, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Ginger. Welcome to everybody. I'm happy to be here today to talk about the new PI grant reporting form for PI grants. First question, of course, you probably on your mind is, why do we have a new report form? And we did that because I wanted to make it easier for you to send in your reports and easier for us to be able to turn it around and get you your money in a timely manner. And what did we do? This year we created an online report form. So without further ado, let's go right to the report form. Each district governor and RPIC and also the PI grant coordinators were all sent an email with the information, which for some reason is not, of course, was sent in with all the information. So you were sent a link to this. You can use this link. Why did it go to the end? I'm sorry, we tested this beforehand, and of course, it goes to the very end now of the whole process. So you can use this link. It will go directly. You can share this link with somebody. You can stop at any given time and start over. There we go. Always a glitch.
Good job.
So here is the new report form. The first thing that we've done is we've told you what sort of information we're going to be needing when you fill out this report form. Some of this information is from your PR grant application, and others are things that you will be gathering along the way. For instance, your campaign goals are up there, your information on how you've said you will measure your goals. We would like copies of your analytics. We have asked you to keep track of your membership inquiries before, during, and after your campaign. If you received any new members, if donations were your goal, we're going to ask you to report that. The traffic to your website, We'll want pictures of your advertising for proof of performance or airtime logs, copies of your invoices, proof that you've paid your invoices. And what's very important in proof of payment of invoices is that if your grant is $10,000, you have a 1/3 match, so you have a $333 match. So you need to document $13,333 in order to get a $10,000 reimbursement. If you only send me $10,000, you'll get a $7,500 reimbursement. A payee form. Why do we need that? Well, we need to know who we're paying and how to pay you. And of course, a reimbursement form, which is a form of a checklist for you and for us to make sure that we all have what's necessary. And of course, at any time during the process, you can always contact me or my assistant Sabrina at prgrants@rotary.org. So, how do we fill out the form? I think the first one you probably don't need any help with. That's your name, your address, your email address, your phone number, so we can contact you if at any time we have any questions. Your district number, what country you're in, what type of a grant you had, and if there's more than one, it's a single district priority grant or it's a multi-year grant, please let us know. Preferred language, did you work with your RPIC? And that should be easy to find because we'll just go on we'll look at the list and we'll click who we used. I picked Ginger. Sorry, Peggy. Okay, so reimbursable expenses. So maybe it's $9,846.22. And your district contribution was $3,342.00. And you got $60,000 in kind. Isn't that great? It's added that all up for me, and I will look at this and I will know that I have a $73,188.22 value to your grant. That's something that is important for you to know, and it's important for us to know because we share that kind of information with the board. So next we've asked you about your goals. Your goals were on your application. You can have more than one goal. If it's not one of the 3 goals that are shown here, but if you had a different goal, you can click Other and type that in. So next we ask you if you in fact achieved your goals. And you can tell me, yes, you did, they exceeded, maybe they didn't reach your expectations. I want to know that. Then I want to know how you measured. If you used something, just simply casual conversation, or maybe you did an online survey. Anything that you do not choose, please click Do Not Apply, or else it's not going to let you move to the next page. If you got this far and you said, okay, was there increased interest due to joining? Oh, I need to contact my membership people. I need to contact my webmaster. Someone else needs to give me the answer to that question. Then you can stop here. You don't need to click Save. You don't need to do anything. You simply click out of it, and when you reopen, it's going to reopen right here. Okay, so yes, there was increased interest. So I want to know as much information as you can give me. You don't have to fill out every box in order for it to continue, but I would like to get as much information as I can. So how many inquiries did you get? Maybe you were only getting 4 or 5 a month. And then in November, you started your campaign, and now you're getting 22, 33, 45, 60, 8. It's over. Why do I need to know that? Why do you need to know that? What is the benefit to you of tracking that information? That way you know if this was a successful campaign. In April, you had a fundraiser. Okay, so suddenly you've got 33. What did you just learn? That fundraiser and the publicity around it was also helpful. What was your campaign, your district's numbers campaign membership before your campaign? What was it afterwards? Now, I understand that these are not net figures. These are gross figures. You haven't figured out yet anything else, but it's helpful to know this. So we'd like to know, tell me, how did you follow up? Did your district follow up? Did your club? Whoops, I don't type very well. Respond to inquiries. Okay, let me know. You can write that is going to expand as you go along. Does your district have a website? Okay. What's the traffic to that website? Well, you were getting pretty good traffic to that website for a while, and then in February you started your campaign. So now suddenly you're getting 500, 850. Now it's starting to taper off. You need to know this. Okay, in May, again, you did another fundraiser. It went up. Let us know. This is important information for you. This is important information for me. What other things might have influenced traffic to your website? Fundraiser in May, community project in August. Those things could have influenced the traffic. So when did your project run? October, November, December, whatever it is, check all that applies. What did you do? We did billboards and we did transit. Okay, when did they run? Billboards ran in November to February, daily. Transit only ran January to February, daily. Did you use RI-produced materials? Yes. Did you adapt them? I hope so. Okay, in your opinion, what made this a success? Gave pride to members, increased membership. What other things could have made it a success? Were there any unexpected outcomes? Yes. News media contacted us. Do you have any suggestions for improving? Unfortunately, the program is going to be ending, but if you do have any suggestions, I would still like to see them. The next section of this is your attachments. So the things that you need to attach are your payee form. We already talked about that. Without your payee form, I don't know who to pay or how to pay you. PR grant reimbursement form, the documentation for your activities, your vendor invoices, including your 1/3 match, your proof of payment of that. So upload the payee form here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in. You can go into your computer, and it says here, payee form. And here you see it's automatically attached. Okay. Now you can say, how many forms do you have? I have one reimbursement form, and I have 2 proofs of performance, and I have 2 vendor invoices, and I have 2 proofs of payment. So now I'm going to upload my reimbursement form. Again, you can see it's attached. You can attach up to 16 megabytes on each attachment, which means if you have a big PDF or you have a large photo, something that's high res. Before, when you were sending them directly to me, the entire email could not be more than 10 megabytes or I wouldn't get it. Now you've got 16 megabytes per attachment that you can use. So photocopies of ads, airtime logs. So here's an airtime log. Here's a photocopy. There it is. It's all attached. See, this one is 2 megabytes, 2.1. Again, if you don't have everything you need at the time that you're doing this, you can stop at any time and wait until you have your information. When you go back in, you can pick up right where you stepped off. You can also go back at any time. For instance, if the number of vendor invoices actually turns out to be 3, you can now hit the back button, go back here and say vendor invoices 3. Now, why is that important? Because when you go back here, to where you're uploading your vendor invoices, you now have 3 boxes. You can upload up to, I believe it's 50 boxes. So, and each file must be less than 16 megabytes. So again, you go in, you select your invoices, and you hit next. Now you should have, for every invoice that you hit, you should have a proof of payment, but it might be that you got a zero balance statement and it included 2 invoices on it. So maybe you only have 2 now for, see, here's a final zero balance. So maybe you don't have 2 invoices, maybe you only have 1. Google Analytics. You might have, some people send me one, I've gotten as many as 20 and 30 pages on analytics, depends upon what you've got. Sometimes it's all in one PDF, sometimes it's in several documents. Again, you could tell how many it is, and that's how many boxes we're going to get. If you did a survey, if you did a SurveyMonkey, if you did an online survey, if you just simply got on the phone and called people in your area to see if they'd seen it, you can attach it here. If you don't attach anything, if you did not do a survey, you can still go to next. So when you get to the end, you have an opportunity to look through everything you've selected and see if that's correct. You also have the opportunity here to download this as a PDF. And you can save that to your computer. You can share that with your district governor. If you're the coordinator, you can share that with anyone that you need to. And you'll have a PDF version of what you've just done. Looks very similar to what we just did. So you can see that. It's got your answers in it. Okay? So you have that PDF. You can look over your answers. You can make any changes. Again, when you get down to the bottom, if there's anything that you want to change, you can change it here. You can press the back button. You have not submitted it until we do this next step. When you click next, that will come in and it comes to me. Now, then you will get a follow-up email that will go into your inbox telling you that I've gotten it. And so you know that it went through, that we have it. You don't need to send me an email saying, did you receive it? Because you know I did. You have a copy of it, and you can move forward with your whole project. You finished now. And that's how easy it is. Any questions?
Yes, I have a couple. Cynthia, were you going to show an example of some of the campaigns that were uploaded so people have a good visual?
I can do that. If you will, unfortunately, I can't do that without actually ending the
Okay, well
the
then
show.
let's
But let
go.
me just do that. I'm going to show you a couple.
Okay, good.
Let me give you some proof of performance. Okay. In Europe, well, here's RIBI, and let me show you. They did bus advertisements, and here they are. They used local celebrities, primarily Olympic stars, and they had these on buses all throughout Great Britain and Ireland. Now, one of the nice stories that came in with their reimbursement was that there was some woman who was following one of these buses, driving along, and she drove for quite a while behind it. And she was so intrigued by what she saw that she contacted the district, and she's now working on her master's dissertation all about Rotary.
Very cool.
So that was one that I rather liked. Then we have in Italy, this is their version of Humanity in Motion of the Faces campaign. It looks a lot like the This Close campaign. So the youth gave it that same look, but it looks very Italian. So we have, here's one. One of the nice things about this is that you can see they've got a lot of diversity in age, in gender. These are all Rotarians that they used for their Faces campaign. That they also did This Close. And again, these are local celebrities. And this gentleman apparently in Italy is quite well known. So they were very excited to get him. We also have this lady who is in a Faces ad. She's a famous pianist in Italy, and she's also does the This Close campaign. So we see her again. This is really nice. You see the different ages in the background. You see all kinds of people that are involved and who are very in on it. Now in Australia, they've been doing a totally different campaign. Now, their Australian campaign is amazing. They have gotten about $1 million worth of in-kind. And apparently theirs is Join the Conversation. This is rather large, so it's hard to see. So let's make this a little smaller. So this gentleman is a Rotarian. He is a traveler, and he owns a tourism business. And so this is, in essence, their version of Faces. And they've done a number of ads there. Here's another gentleman who is a concert pianist or a conductor and a Rotarian. So you can see how they have managed to take their campaigns and really worked it into a very interesting and insightful way of looking at the world. Any other questions?
Yes, Cynthia, there are a couple of questions. The deadline is June the 1st, I understand. What if
Yes, it is.
what if someone has a problem and has to delay it? What do they need to do?
Please contact me. Please don't just not send in your report. Please let me know that you're going to be late, and we can talk about it, and we can try to settle for a good time for you to turn in and a reasonable time for you to turn in your report. Why is it June 1st? A lot of people ask me this every year. Why can't I have more time? Why does it have to be June 1st? As you know, Rotary works on a fiscal year that ends the 30th of June. We need to have some time to process your invoices, and our accounts payable is closing out the whole year for all of Rotary at the same time. So we need to have time for them to actually process these materials as well. And that's why we do it when we do. Anything that does not go through, I try to accrue for, but I can only keep that money open for a short time after the fiscal year closes. So if you really want to get reimbursed, you must get your reimbursement request in a timely manner.
Cynthia, yes, we have a couple more questions. What if we didn't get all of the analytical information, either on Facebook or on our website or landing page or Google? What do we do if we don't have all of the information?
What do you mean all of the information?
In other words, you were showing a month-to-month report, how many inquiries, et cetera, and during the campaign. What if for some reason that information is not available for last year as well as this year by month?
Send me everything you have.
Okay.
If you don't have it all, I'm not going to ask you to go back and make it up. I would rather have real numbers. So send me what you have. And even though there will not be a grant next year, unless you are in the third year of a multi-year, please start keeping track of that. It's in your best interest.
One other question. With the screens on the report, could you just pull it up one more time for an example here? The question showed that we had two arrows, back arrows on the report screen. One was at the top and one was at the bottom of the form. Just want to be sure which arrow they point when they're filling out the questionnaire so that they don't hit the wrong arrow.
So there's next, back, and next, and you said there's one at the top?
There's an arrow at the top of the screen on the report. And, we're so used to going to the top of a screen and hitting that back arrow.
Oh, don't hit this arrow right here.
We can't see that.
The one that's part of your browser. Sorry.
There you go.
Do not hit the browser back arrow. If you do, you're going to lose everything. Stick with this button down here, the back or the next. If you use your browser button, this is what you're going to get. This web page has expired and you're going to need to start all over. So do not hit your browser button. Only use the buttons that are part of the form.
I believe that I don't see any other questions at the moment. If anybody would like to post a question, please do so. Otherwise, we're going to wrap this up. And I want to extend my personal thanks to Cynthia for making time to be on this webinar. It's certainly Peggy. There's several of them that are 2 hours later, so they're either working from home or like Cynthia ran back to the RI office. I don't think she ran, but so
I drove.
You drove back. Thank you for that. Again, let me inform everybody that this evening's session has been recorded. If one of your PR people were unable to attend or the district governor, I think it's important that the district governors also see this report because you may have to go beyond the governor to access some of this information, the webmaster, maybe the social media person, and sometimes the treasurer. Sometimes it's easier to access them with the help of the district governor. If there's no other questions at this time, I'm going to sign off. It's here in California. We've had an amazing day. I'm going to brag a little bit. The weather was 82 degrees. And what is the weather in Chicago, Cynthia?
It did get up briefly for about 30 seconds to 60, and it has been raining and foggy, so you cannot see out the windows at RI headquarters.
Okay, well, let's hope the sun shines everywhere. Thank you all for attending. I hope you found this information worthwhile, and please send us an email commenting on what you learned, or if we didn't cover everything, please let us know. I thought it was a very thorough approach. I've gone through the online report system myself and found it to be so much more friendlier than what we had in the past. And don't forget, June 1st is the deadline. If you run into delays, please contact Cynthia by email right away so she can plan for that and work with you. If you have problems not receiving zero invoice, zero balance, then I believe Cynthia mentioned that a statement from the treasurer showing that the account or the vendor has been paid will suffice as well. Thank you so much. This brings our evening to an end. Cynthia, thank you so much, and keep warm in that wet weather.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you.
Stay on, Cynthia.
Would you rather just call me back?
No, just stay on.
I can call you.
There's only 3 more.
Okay.
They're signing off.